Good evening, folks. I am tbham, bringing you yet another game from r/castit. It's a little sub-community of Reddit. Folks can submit their own replays to this from the ladder or something cool they see, and random people will pick them up, cast the game, throw it on YouTube or something similar, to show off some of their little skills and how terrible they can talk to the world. But anyway, this is going to be a ladder match between two Diamond players. It's actually from the EU server. And without any further explanation, I'm going to introduce our players. Spawning in the bottom right of our map, Belshire Vestige. It's the blue Protoss, plays on Team Extraterrestrials Academy. It's Dipwood. And his opponent, spawning in the top left, playing in red, playing as Zerg. Gonna call him Stu. For some reason, my mind went directly to Stu Pickles, like from the Rugrats or something. I'm not sure why. I haven't seen that show in many, many years, but that was in my head for some reason. Anyway, Dipwood gonna be going for a gate expand. Stu's got a drone already moving across. It's gonna find out exactly what's going on. Wants to make sure this is either a gate expand or some sort of forge play, so he knows exactly what he needs to do back home. Kind of an unnecessary scout, but he's going to feel safe now to go ahead and go for a hatch first, as he is rallied out there, rather than trying to wait and go for a pool first or anything like that, thinking there could be a forge. Actually, oh, did he misplace? I think it looks like he misplaced that hatchery. Small little mishap there. Dippo gets in, sees a hatch, might see the blood around there and think, what the heck just happened here? But if he didn't see that, he didn't see it. But anyway, so double gas coming from Dipwood here, along with this first gateway. Still no expansion in thought yet, but he hasn't been making this zealot, so he will be expanding quite quickly. It does seem like he is. I mean, he just sees this pool come down just now, so he knows he's also safe to go ahead and think about expanding as soon as he possibly can. Only 2 workers on each of these first 2 gases, so he is all ready to go ahead and go expand. There's a drone here. It's going to kind of play the backwards hatch block game instead of the Protoss doing this to the Zerg. But Dip definitely got the first shot off. Oh, actually, no, he didn't. I thought Dip got the first shot off on that drone. Does not seem to be the case. And this drone's going to escape and still be annoying for a little bit. And even going to make a hatchery here, so this is going to be a little bit annoying for Dip. He has got a forge on the way. He does have a probe still across the map, so he can, if he so chose, try to can it up, but this hatchery is already done. At the very least, he's going to be able to kind of deal with any sort of thirds coming up, but I don't think Stu really minds if Dipwood's natural ends up being a third for a little while. It's definitely going to delay Dip a good amount here. He was trying to expand. He definitely had the money for that. He had skipped that first zealot, and he just now gets one out. One cannon coming up and the zealot coming out. Probe has been picking away. Mothership Core is going to join the fray here. Try to at least get a cancel on this so no creep gets put down. Because that would be extremely annoying for Dip to have to deal with. And really, I'm not sure. This hatch could finish. And if that hatch finishes and creep gets up, this is going to be a really difficult game for Dipwood to figure anything out for. His probes got in, and it has seemed there is no third over here yet, or in the other location. So it's getting in to make sure there's no gas taken, which there is indeed no gas taken yet. And this hatch it's going to finish. Oh, no, he's going to cancel it. Oh, that seems kind of unnecessary, but I guess is that creep kind of... Yeah, the creep is still kind of there, because you can always put down like a Evo chamber, a spine crawler on hatch when you destroy it. So Dipwood is finally going to be able to go ahead and expand. So it's still a little bit behind here. Stu didn't decide to try to like be all in with this and go for leaving that base up over there. It was almost dead, so it wasn't going to really get anything out useful other than having a little bit more creep around. So he went and canceled that. And back home, he's added on 2 gases of his own. But this is at a pretty normal time. Still no third base, though. Doing what Stu did over here at Dip's Natural, Stu has got to take his own third base. And he's still only on no Lairds coming in just yet. He does have 4 queens out, so he's going to be spreading creep fairly rapidly here. So it'll be interesting to see what he decides to go for. It looks like he's going to be going for upgrades as quickly as possible, adding on a third gas now. And still no massive tech choices out for dipwood at all. Still only on the 2 gases and only the 1 gateway. Actually, well, excuse me, 2 more gateways down here than natural, but no actual tech buildings just yet. And a probe moving out. Looks like he was going to try to pressure a 3rd base, but there's just no 3rd base yet. It doesn't really exist. So there's not really anything to pressure and try to get a cancel on. Phoenix going to move across the map. It may get over into this 3rd base. I think he did. I did see him click over there. Was clicking with his drone or his probe though, so he's going to see that there's no 3rd base yet. And as this Phoenix flies over, there's still no 3rd base, so he probably is going to be a little bit worried. And even with the Scout Phoenix, he's going Stargate behind this and getting +1 ground weapons already as well. Scout Phoenix getting in, seeing Lair coming in. Still, gases here, seeing double Evo Chamber. And range upgrades coming out. And just now a 3rd base is going to be started for our Zerg player. +1 will be finished kind of soon. And so a lot of Zealots perhaps could come in with that. But only the 3 gateways still. Stargate and a Robo coming in behind this. And still only Lings, and the Roachborn has finished. And Roach Speed is on its way as well. And another Macro Hatch. Stu is pretty light on larva and getting his money was climbing up for a little bit, but he did make a decent swell of army units right now. His 6 roaches are about to pop out. So any sort of warping over here to try and cancel this 3rd base is probably not going to be able to do too much. Actually, it looks like Dip is going to move out with most of his army here, leaving 1 sentry back at home just to block off in case anything tries to pop in, and a couple more sentries. So it looks like he's going to force field this ramp here and really go to kill this natural base and then just run away. But this Ling has spotted the move out, so nice little run in there for Stu. So he should be able to set up if he so chooses to do that. Good amount of roaches out. There are 9 roaches, so he will. He can scare this push off, but he doesn't really want to get surrounded. That was a lot of sentries, and it is a lot of sentries, and those are going to push in right now. And Stu's going to react to this and probably just say, okay, this 3rd base is not getting up. Small hole left with this force field. So actually, that was really kind of a poor decision by Stu there. He's going to lose a 3rd. He's likely going to lose all of those roaches. Actually, a nice little counter flank here. Try to take out as much as he can, and gets, I think, 3 sentries? 4 sentries. 4 sentries for his trouble there. But he did lose the hatchery. He lost the hatchery, and he probably lost. He didn't lose any roaches actually. So good for him in that situation. He could have lost a lot more if there were actually some army units. And in response, he's going to push across the map. He knows his opponent is pretty light on units that can actually hurt these roaches, especially given the roaches are already +1/+1 compared to just a +1 ground attack. And Dip is likely going to be trying to take his 3rd base now. So he's light on the army units, and these roaches are going to swing in here, and the gate is wide open. Gives him just that little bit of a moment that he needs to swing back, though. No committing from Stu, and nice force fields and a nice time warp, but Burrow is done. Burrow is done, and Tunning Claws are coming in, so no observer. Actually, there is that observer. So these roaches are going to have to get out of there, but he did force out a lot of force fields, and I don't think these sentries really have any force fields left. A couple force fields are left, but those roaches are going to be able to get out now and be nice and safe. A lot more roaches coming in. It looks like see some nice tunneling claws play, I guess, but with obviously Zerk's gonna have a lot of. Here we go. Actually, a little bit of an engagement here, at least forcing dipwood back into his own natural, and not many force fields, so he can't really do much against us. And with no immortals just yet, 1 immortal about to pop, this front is a little exposed at the moment. Did he actually? He didn't use overcharge. He didn't have enough energy for an overcharge. I thought he did. So he didn't have the energy for an overcharge. And with this burrow, these roaches are just going to sit back here and heal up for a little while. There is a single immortal, and with the observer as well, and another immortal on the way. But Stu is pretty content to just deny this 3rd base coming out while his 3rd base is also getting up in his own. Worker counts are fairly even, 48 to 47. So nothing much really advantage-wise for Stu with this base over here. He definitely just wants to be able to keep dipwood back in his natural. Sniping off another sentry there. Nicely done by Stu, and he's, again, just going to burrow and wait. He's going to wait for 2-2 at least, I would hope. He's definitely going to wait for 2-2 to kick in before he decides to attack again. Is there a Hydra den? Doesn't seem to be a Hydra den. There's an infestation pit. A nice little counter warp in of Zealots over here. There's no army units to help back here, but Stu trying to poke in, getting on top of everything, sniping off one immortal. Looks like he probably sniped another one off. Nice force fields, but the roaches that were in front of the force fields, he just burrows and walks away. So very nice play coming from our Zerg player here, but at the same time, he is likely going to be losing his third base here. Nothing at all back home. 4 Zealots with +1/+1. Queen coming in here, going to kind of transfuse as much as she can to delay these Zealots. But looks like they're going to get another snipe on another third base. Oh, another transfuse actually with 2 Queens now. There is a shot and some roaches are popping. This base almost survives, but no, it will go down. So once again, both players are left on 2 bases. Small worker advantage for our Zerg player, but that's not really going to translate to too much at this point, given that both players are on 2 bases and both players are on only 4 gases, which is kind of the important situation at the moment. Hive is already finishing up for Stu. He definitely wants to get something out related to that Hive. Maybe just going straight to 3-3. He's still only on these 2 bases, but he has a ton of army units. 141 army supply to 75 right now. But dipwood is kind of content to sit back and let his opponent attack into him while he gets his immortal counts up. Only 3 immortals out at the moment. And that's a lot of roaches. It's a lot of roaches against 1-1. A lot of 2-2 roaches against 1-1 melee units. And this is a huge choke here. Another overcharge goes down. And just so few force fields right now. And even force fields wouldn't really matter since the roaches do have burrow, we've already seen. But a huge gate coming in, and actually a nice burrow there, knowing he can move up. But there is an observer, so he is being attacked the entire time with no hydras to snipe off the observer. That just kind of made Stu take some more damage, but he did get in front of the force fields, but still this engagement, it's pretty much going in dipwood's favor. Kind of a defender's advantage situation, and a lot of overlords getting sniped for free. There's still this observer, so he's still able to see this. Stu trying to get a nice surround here, still just rallying in more and more roaches. And some decent burrow micro, trying to take out what he can, but just too much back home. And even the overcharge is getting some more kills. 4 kills on that Nexus already. Right now it's just Stalkers and 1 Immortal against all these roaches. And there's going to be a lot more roaches popping in soon. And dipwood again, another warp in back here, trying to take out this third base yet again. So yeah, this is coming down to some interesting play here. +2 weapons did finish up for dipwood, so that's helping out a lot here. The Zealots also have charge, so these roaches are going to have a lot more trouble to get out of here. But yet another third base goes down for our Zerg players. So even while dipwood is getting completely just ravaged in his main base, he is still attacking, and this pylon hasn't been found out yet. You figured Stu would realize that he is getting this third base sniped off over and over and over, and it'd be a lot worse even if dipwood managed to squeeze out some DTs or something. But it looks like he's trying to get as many immortals out at once as he possibly can. With just a lot of zealots and a nice time warp again, but reinforcing roaches coming in here. This has been it's a constant engagement for the past 6 minutes or so. It's very nice by both players, playing this as close to the best as possible. Roaches are burrowing and trying to run away yet again, but again, this observer is here. So roaches are going to have to kite as much as they can. Off creep is a little difficult, but finally Stu's going to take this third base in a different position. Wise decision. Also making the third base at its natural location, at its customary location, I should say, in case dipwood does decide to go for some more warp-ins. But Dip is still stuck right now in his natural base, unable to really take a base of his own. He definitely needs to do that soon. Minerals patches in his main are pretty much mined out here. He's got 15 workers on 4 patches right now, and his natural is also starting to run low. And finally Dip is going to be trying to take this base at the same time, kind of sniping off a few overlords that are hanging around. Dipwood Archives is coming in, and Stu is actually going to get vision of that very nicely by this Overseer that was getting attacked, kind of popped in, but uses that Contaminate on the robotics facility, or robotics facility, not bay, robotics facility. So nicely done there for him. Dipwood staying in another zealot, making sure this third base is up. You can kind of assume that's there at this point in the game. Stu's going to be on 3-3 pretty quickly here, and it's still only +2/+1 for our Protoss player. So upgrades are going to be a big deal. If if Stu decides to just make a humongous swell of units here, this could go very nicely for him. And actually going into Vipers, knowing his opponent isn't on too much, and knowing that Archons and Immortals are really the only thing that can do too much damage to him at this point, especially with 3-3 finishing, being able to snipe off those mass units as easily as possible. And nice Hallucinated Phoenix coming in, seeing that that is the case. Likely going to see, let's say, some more Stalkers come out for Dipwood, or even just Templar without merging them, so you can actually get feedbacks off. But these Vipers going to try to roll in here. Even with the Contaminate, might help a little bit, but I don't think that's really going to be his point here. It looks like another Zealot was warped in just to go check things out over there. Third base finally up for Dipwood, but immediately trying to saturate that. And a nice little engagement there. Snuck up a good chunk of these roaches with some nice force fields. So Dipwood's just getting advantages everywhere he can. +3 is on the way. About what was it, a third done? Well, it's almost halfway done actually. It looks like Dipwood smells what he did catch one of this base with his Scouting Phoenix, so he's going to take that out, and Stu knows that, and he's like, alright, that's fine, you can have that base, I'm going to go ahead and evacuate that and deal with this base over here. So now Dipwood, after that nice defense at his natural for a very, very long time, he's kind of in an aggressive position now, and he's able to do so. Just his composition just a lot better at the moment. Just Vipers is basically the only higher tier unit that Stu has right now, compared to the Archons that are coming in, as well as these Immortals. And Stu attempting to do a run by, but Dipwood kind of just figured that was going to be coming, or at least he knew he didn't want to just attack at the moment, so he was backing up for taking a different angle. But more of a massive run by is going to be coming down to this base. And with only the one cannon and it's behind the middle line, this base is going to get sniped off dang near immediately. Even with a recall, like a snap recall, I don't think it's going to matter. That base is going to go down. And he is indeed. He's going to recall immediately, but this base is dead, and he's just going to run away as quickly as possible. But trying to run away is not going to make a much of a difference. That's a lot of units that just got sniped off there. Almost all of Stu's army just died. Did those Vipers get away? Most of those Vipers got away, I think. But some of them did get feedback. At the same time that he did get back there, he did feedback two of those Vipers, so nicely done for him there. So not much left in terms of army supply for our Zerg players. 91 army supply to 77 now, 75. Keeps changing. What's going on? What's he losing? Oh, there were some roaches that came over here and were hanging out. So still some nice run-bys from our Zerg player here. Both players are struggling to get extra bases up. It's 64 drones to 34 workers right now. A lot of workers died in that engagement as well. 22 probes have been killed so far in this game. And I think Dipwood kind of realizes that he's getting this base up is going to be extremely difficult, and he wants to push out and do some massive damage. He knows he's not off a good deal of that army. He's actually going to sacrifice the Evil Chamber. No, he doesn't really need it anymore unless he wanted to switch into melee units for some strange reason. But Dipwood looks like he's going to pop in here and go for this base and even go for this entire engagement. Viper's going to come in. What are the Vipers going to actually do? They're going to pull in the Immortals. That's a nice one. That's a nice little job there. Pulling as many Immortals as he can. Gets 3 Immortals so far. But he did lose a base for that. There is another base over here, but he's also lost a lot of drones in that engagement. He lost about 20 some odd drones doing that. And it looks like he's going to lose a good chunk of his army as well. +3 of 3 against +3-1 at the moment. 51 to 75 army supply. Where are the extra warp buttons? Even drones are getting into this fight. The drones, they smell blood. They want to get this Archon. They're going to get it. They can smell it. They can feel it. They can feel it happening. But Dipwood's going to back off. He knows he needs to take a base. He knows this base is probably up again. Whoa, shit. Alright, we're going to roll with that, because I'm not going to restart that long of a time. So that happened. It's cool. That was only about 30 seconds. Oh, goodness gracious. What was I trying to hit when I was doing that? Oh, who knows? Oh, I do remember. Yeah, he doesn't know this is back up yet. Just yet, but he knows he needs to back off. He can't really push in to his opponent at the moment. Stu adding on Hydras finally. Definitely needs that extra DPS at this stage of the game. With so little high tier units against Dipwood's kind of decent army composition here. A lot of charge lots, a lot of Archons. No Robo units just yet. And another nice Contaminate on the shield upgrade. just stopping that for a little bit. Every little bit helps. And Stu's actually on a lot of money right now, and he doesn't seem to be spending it. He doesn't seem to want to go into infestors, use all of that gas or anything. He's so low on mineral income at the moment, and both players are fairly low on the income at the moment. Mostly, Stu is definitely going for gas at the moment, only mining one on each of these gases here, and these gases only have one as well. Knowing that's what he needs, but big engagement coming in here, and the army completely out of position. Not really much that the army can do anyway against this composition. Another base is going to die, and with the death of his base, and basically no minerals left for Stu, there's not really much he's going to be able to do with this. Nice snipe off of that mothership core. Did it get back? No, it did not get back. It did get killed, but dipwood is very content to back off here. He knows he knows his opponent is likely in the same situation as he is with this economy, but he feels that his composition is very nice. His composition is very nice compared to his opponent. +3, +1, +1 right now for our Protoss player, and still 3-3 for a Zerg player, but the Zerg just still no mineral income at all at the moment. Another base gets canceled just by 3 zealots. So it's kind of just going to continually happen, and it seems like Stu's going to need to just kind of take everything and go at some point very, very soon. His opponent's going to get more and more ahead. dipwood is on basically no economy right now, and he's just warping in army units. He's not even trying to get this base up at the moment. It's going to take a long time for him to get that up with this mineral income that he does have, as drones keep going back and forth. He has 34 workers right now, and most of them are trying to mine minerals long distance, but another engagement coming in here. And this is kind of the tale for Stu. All those queens got feedback and just completely slaughtered. 107 to 74 supply, even a storm going down on those roaches. So dipwood is in a very powerful position right here. There's really nothing left for the Zerg opponent. Even warping in a couple. Actually, no, it was a Templar. What? Why is it Templar? He's trying to burn another one, I imagine. Make an Archon, but even this base is not going to get up. 77 of 42 army supply, and I feel like there's a lot of that army supply. There it is. A couple roaches coming over here to take out that one zealot, but there's another army behind that, and this looks like this is probably going to be the last engagement here. Absolutely nothing left in the bank for Stu, really. Units getting stormed. Yep. dipwood looks like he's going to take this after a long time spent in his natural with no third base. Those nice counters he kept having over into his opponent's third base and kind of continually denying that base from getting up. And again, dipwood denies another base and backs off, knowing he's in a much better position at the moment, even though his money is just as low. I think if Stu had gone into infestors, this would be a much different game for him at the moment, given how much gas he has left. But that's a whole lot of Archons. That's 12 Archons. 12 Archons against, what's he have left? He's got 6 Hydras and 2 Roaches. All the upgrades in the world aren't really gonna help that out. 10 minerals right now for our Zerg player. Only 11 drones. Another base gets sniped off. I don't even think they got canceled. And dipwood's still just not killing his opponent. Just kill your opponent. And he finally makes his own Nexus over here. And Stu is gonna call a GG there. So well done for dipwood. Once again, I'm tbham. You can follow me on Twitter at tbhamsc. Check out my YouTube channel, subscribe to it. I actually have some free time now, so I hopefully will get back into doing this more often. Sorry about the little blip midway through there, but yeah, that was about 25 minutes in. I was not going to restart this time. Alright, have a good day, folks.